Look, I like conceptual albums, I like detailed albums. I like when bands put a formed idea behind their art and build everything around it. This is hard, this is mastercraft. The idea could be screaming from everywhere, but it won't make the album sound gorgeous by itself. I feel like talking about obvious things, but making a conceptual album is much harder than making just a normal one. So no surprise that even titans of indie genre like Arcade Fire, who previously have come up with some amazing conceptual and semi-conceptual albums, they do continue to struggle with that. Their new work, fifth studio album entitled Everything Now, which came out quite recently, has some really cool moments and really nice ideas, but hardly any of them really work out. From a purely conceptual point of view, the album feels like some sort of attack on our generation, the current generations of consumers obsessed with technology, modern things, and themselves, of course. It's interesting how they fight this battle with the exact same weapons. Their impressive ad and promo campaign online was at times aggressive, loud, and quite funny. But all of it loses its power when you understand that they make fun, they mock everyone else so smartly, but at the same time they're trying to sell a fucking record themselves. Personally, what I've got from this epic promotion is that they're on the same exact road as everybody else. Them ironically releasing those extremely expansive fidget spinners, Kylie Kendall Jenner t-shirts, and finally signing with a major label actually prove that point. And as probably a millennial, I don't really get why is it bad necessarily. We all live in 2017 and the music industry is so fucked, so weird, so different from, let's say, a few years ago, that all those processes, they just seem natural and okay. It's okay to be commercial, especially if you're an extremely successful band into their 15 years of career. On the Suburbs, their phenomenally successful, critically acclaimed third studio album, which I personally love to pieces from start to finish. This is a very personal album to me and I love everything related to it, the movie, all the promo, everything. They kind of follow this similar theme of losing real life connections and romanticizing the past. It's a very melancholic, beautiful album. The Suburbs feels very nostalgic, very warm, very emotional and personal. In comparison to it, Everything Now might be sounding more fun and colorful at moments, but it's also very cynical, very cold, and much more simple in its delivery, especially lyrically. Oh my god. I never could have imagined when Butler and the team writing such plain and basic lyrics. During the half of the album, you just can't stop laughing at this stuff. I could be wrong, but maybe it's all very intentional for all of that to be that primitive and so unsophisticated. For the sake of showing the emotionless everything now, our life, the current state of our lives and likings. But I guess my problem is that it doesn't really fit into what Arcade Fire are actually about, as in fact very talented lyricists and songwriters. That's why my personal favorite tracks on the album happen to be the least basic and silly lyrically, though I do want to point out that some people could still find those quite mere. The title track has even some of the Suburbs reminiscent lines, mixing them up beautifully with this consumerism society topic. It just shows that it could work and it could be done nicely. But this is, I believe, actually the only one track that presents that way. Creature Comfort is the one on the edge because it's still quite ordinary, but it fused everything so perfectly, so nicely, and I love what they're talking about on there. It was fame-obsessed, idealistic life-obsessed youngsters. It's great. It's a great track. Both Put Your Money on Me and We Don't Deserve Love are actually quite beautiful too. It has some really heart-wrenching, heartbreaking lines, but it confuses the fuck out of me when I hear something like, "Be my Wendy, I'll be your Peter Pan. Come on baby, take my hand. We can walk if you don't feel like flying. We can live, I don't feel like dying." Reciting it, it doesn't even sound like an Arcade Fire lyric. But it is, and I'm just left absolutely shocked by it. If you don't really give a fuck about lyrics in general or about Arcade Fire and their phenomenal hits, that's great actually. That deletes one of the major problems of this release for you. And all of those previously mentioned tracks, they're not all of my favorites. I like Electric Blue, for example. Thanks God that it makes it a little bit hard to understand what Regine actually sings about, because it's basically about nothing, but the track itself sounds magical. It's very pleasant, shining with this really easygoing pop groove. Same with Signs of Life. I'm not a huge fan of this single, but I can't deny the old school danceable groove of it. It's really good. Talking about the sound of this record, I think it's a pretty well done to good produced album, sometimes even overproduced. Again, I don't deny that it could be intentional. For the most part, Arcade Fire explored the same path they took on their previously released Reflector, and when it comes to disco, they tried to learn from their previous mistakes, and it's pretty enjoyable. I love Reflectors, so I was pretty used to it and I wasn't really surprised by the first single that dropped. It's a loud disco influence. Sometimes they take back those acoustic-y and classic indie rock genre vibes. Those moments also actually sound really good, but unfortunately, alongside all of that, there are a couple of tracks that I can't even stand listening to in full. I just want to skip them and forget about its existence. I'm talking about Peter Pan, which besides the problem with its lyrics, sounds just so gimmicky and so weird, like weird in a bad way. And Chemistry, oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with this track? If you love those two, you're free to shit about what I have to say in the comments, but also, can you please explain what the fuck is going on there? Because I'm lost and confused and I want my Arcade Fire back. Please, thank you. Talking more details and interesting cuts on the record, I want to quickly point out the middle of the album with 2 infinite content tracks. I find it pretty cool, placing 2 different sounding versions of the same track. And that strange mantra repeating the same line, it isn't really annoying and it works within the concept of this record, though the placement of those right next to each other in the middle of the album seems a bit questionable to me. I'd put one somewhere in the beginning and one by the end, I think. But I keep thinking that it was intentional too, because it creates some sort of loop effect. There's 2 other tracks, also 2 different versions of the same track, which starts and concludes this album. Everything Now Continued. It creates a perfect loop, full circle, which makes you question the structure of the album, as in maybe the actual beginning of it is infinite content instead of Everything Now. It's cool, I like this idea a lot. I'm pretty sure that's not the first time that Arcade Fire do stuff like that. It's just nice how it fits into the concept of it. The album Everything Now as the infinite content for all the easy information access obsessed people. In the end, I have quite a lot of disappointments from Everything Now. The cool but honestly quite strangely presented concept, sometimes completely losing the focus somewhere in between. This album lacks cohesiveness and lacks emotion, real human emotion. And overall, this is a complete opposite of what makes you fall in love with Arcade Fire in the first place. Doesn't mean that I hate them now. I like about 8 tracks on the album out of 13. That's quite a lot. And I do have lots of hope and lots of faith in them to come up with a great, amazing album after, which could also change my life forever, like the Suburbs did in 2010. But yeah, Everything Now just didn't deliver, and it's okay, that's fine. We are not perfect. Music artists are not perfect. Let's move on and find some other quality music to listen to before Arcade Fire will come back with a fully great and amazing record. So what do you guys think about Everything Now? Do you think it's a good record? Do you think it's not such a good record? What do you think are the main problems or problem of it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. We love reading your comments, we love responding to your comments even if it's some hate comment bullshit. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm going to re-listen to the whole Arcade Fire discography and fall in love with it all over again. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to our channel, watch other videos we have, and we'll shortly see you on the next one. Bye bye, peace off.